The story you are about to hear unfolds like a dark drama, the kind that feels too real to ignore. It is presented as a narrative retelling, inspired by mystery and emotion, not as a confirmed real-world event. Yet from the very first moment, it pulls the audience into a chilling question. What if someone already knew their life was about to end? Xing Fei never expected to open that old notebook. It was hidden among stacks of scripts, letters, and memories that had gathered dust for years. At first glance, it looked ordinary, almost insignificant, but the moment she turned the first page, her hands began to shake. The handwriting was unmistakable. Every curve, every stroke of ink belonged to Yu Menglong. It was his diary, written during a period when his smile still fooled everyone, when cameras captured confidence but never the fear behind his eyes. As Xing Fei read on, the tone of the diary slowly changed. What began as simple daily reflections turned into fragments of anxiety, sentences filled with unease, and thoughts that felt heavier with every page. It was as if he was leaving something behind, preparing for a future he believed he would never reach. One line stood out among all the others, written darker, pressed deeper into the paper. He wrote that he felt watched, followed by a silence that no one else seemed to notice. He wrote that danger was no longer a distant thought, but a shadow that walked beside him every day. Xing Fei paused, her breathing uneven. She remembered those days clearly. On set, Yu Menglong laughed, joked, and acted as if nothing was wrong. But behind the scenes, there were moments when he grew quiet, staring into nothing, as if listening to something only he could hear. The diary revealed that those moments were not random. He wrote about threats that were never spoken aloud, about warnings disguised as friendly advice, and about a growing certainty that his life was being steered toward a dark ending. What made the pages even more disturbing was not fear alone, but acceptance. Yu Menglong did not write like someone hoping to escape. He wrote like someone counting down, measuring time in days and sleepless nights. Then came the messages. According to the diary, Yu Menglong had sent several private texts shortly before everything fell apart. These messages were not dramatic cries for help. They were calm, controlled, and terrifyingly clear. In one message, he apologized in advance. He said that if something happened to him, it was not an accident. He told the recipient to remember his words, even if the truth was buried later. Xing Fei felt her chest tighten as she read that line. She remembered receiving a message from him late one night, short and vague, saying only that he hoped she would stay strong no matter what happened next. At the time, she thought it was exhaustion talking. Now, reading the diary, she realized it was a goodbye disguised as concern. Another entry described a meeting he never wanted to attend. He wrote that he felt trapped, that refusing was not an option, and that walking away might only make things worse. The fear in his words was quiet but absolute. What chilled Xing Fei the most was the final section of the diary. The entries became shorter, almost rushed, as if time itself was running out. One sentence read, "If this is my last night, then at least the truth exists somewhere." The last page was dated only days before his disappearance from public life in this story. There was no dramatic ending, no explanation, just a single sentence written faintly, as if his hand had trembled while writing it. "I know they will kill me." Xing Fei closed the diary, unable to read any further. The room felt colder, heavier, as if the words had changed the air itself. She understood then why he had hidden this notebook instead of destroying it. He wanted someone to find it. In later interviews within this dramatic narrative, Xing Fei spoke carefully. She did not accuse anyone directly. She simply said that Yu Menglong had lived with fear, and that fear had been real to him even if the world never saw it. Fans reacted with shock and disbelief when the story surfaced. Many questioned how someone so admired could carry such darkness alone. Others revisited old footage, noticing the cracks in his smile that once went unnoticed. The diary did not offer answers, only questions. Who was he afraid of? Why did he believe his fate was sealed? And most haunting of all, why did no one stop it? Xing Fei admitted that sharing this story was not about exposing secrets, but about honoring a voice that was never fully heard. She said some stories refuse to stay silent, no matter how much time passes. In this dramatic retelling, Yu Menglong is not remembered for fear alone, but for the courage it took to write the truth when he believed no one was listening. His words became a final act of resistance against erasure. The messages he left behind were not meant to create panic. They were meant to survive him. Proof that, at least once, he tried to warn the world. As the story spread, it became clear why it resonated so deeply. It was not just about danger or mystery, but about how often people suffer quietly behind fame, applause, and bright lights. In the end, the diary stands as a symbol. A reminder that smiles can hide storms, and silence can carry screams no one hears until it is too late. Whether taken as a dramatic narrative or a cautionary tale, the story leaves one undeniable feeling behind. Fear, when ignored, does not disappear. It waits. And somewhere, in ink pressed too hard onto fragile paper, a voice whispers the truth it was never allowed to shout.